Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, man. In today's video, I am going to be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars winning the NFC South for the first time in like 6 years. The last time they won it was in 2017, 2018. And the last time they went all the way to the AFC Championship game, and they had lost to the New England Patriots. Yeah, I had to remember because that was such a while ago. It's crazy because that was like my freshman year of high school. But no, the only reason why I'm making this video is because I love this time of year. I love the NFL in general, but most importantly, I am a Cowboy fan, as you guys obviously know that. But I am a football fan. I love the game, so I love watching other teams and see how they make the playoffs and their journey and how they do their things, and for them to potentially have a run onto the Super Bowl. Because I don't ever want to be that one fan, quote unquote fan of the NFL, and all of a sudden I look up and there's like a good team, or there's just a team that gets hot at the right time. They have a deep run in the playoffs. So I don't ever want to be that person who's like, oh, how the heck did the Jaguars make it to the AFC Championship this year? Something like that. I don't ever want to be caught off guard, especially since I am a big fan of the NFL in general. I'm a football fan and, also a Cowboy fan. So, watching this game was really, really fun. Obviously, we knew what this game was going to be. It was I basically set the stage for it. Not really set the stage, but I was already talking about it in my Cowboys and Titans video, discussing how, it didn't. The reason why they were sent all their starters again on Thursday night was so that's where they can rest up for this exact game. Joshua Dobbs also obviously had the start ahead of this game. And Ryan Tannehill has been having an up and down year, but he definitely is a better quarterback out of Dobbs and Malik Willis for right now. He just had the head nod, to obviously go. And Ryan Tannehill's obviously the starter. Joshua Dobbs got this start over Malik Willis because the Titans, they wanted Joshua Dobbs. They believe in his ability to go out there and play in the football. He's been in the league for quite some time, so he is a vet. So, he does know the game, and they trusted him more than Malik Willis with their chances on the line for making the playoffs. But this game started out pretty shaky. Obviously this has playoff implications. Trevor Lawrence is not that, used to the limelight just yet in the NFL. He had plenty of it at Clemson in college, but the NFL and college is night and day. Obviously they said that the SEC, it's kind of comparable to the NFL because you do see a lot of NFL talent in the SEC. But it was a really good game. It was a division game. You knew it was going to be close. I'm not shocked by the score of 20-16. I'm starting this video early because once the Titans got that short play on that 4th and long, but I just knew the game was over. The Jaguars, man. Tennessee didn't have that bad of a night. Joshua Dobbs, he played a solid game. You remember, he's only been with his team for not even 3 weeks yet. He's only been with his team. He was only like 7-8 days or a couple days before he played Dallas. Then he had 10 days off to rest, learn the playbook even more, get more in tune, and gain more chemistry with his teammates. And then, he was fighting for a division battle already, which is crazy. And like only his second real NFL start. So, I was proud of Joshua Dobbs and how he played in this game. Obviously, he could have played a lot better, but I just felt like the Titans, they're not the Titans of old. We obviously know that. Defensively, they're still solid, but offensively is where they played real complimentary football. Ryan Tannehill, when they had A.J. Brown and whoever their wide receiver 2 would be at the time, whether, last year it was Julio Jones, and then years prior it would be Corey Davis, and then they had a Jonnu Smith. Then, of course, they had Derrick Henry. Then they had Taylor Lewan, who was healthy. They had a better, healthy offensive line. They had a Roger Saffold at left guard. They had a Ben Jones at center. Then they used to have Jack Conklin at right tackle. So they were really solid, years prior. But if you just look at it this year, they're one of the teams that didn't have it this year. They replaced A.J. Brown with a really young Ricky and Treylon Burks, a physical body type. A.J. Brown's definitely a more better receiver right now. And who knows, Treylon Burks can definitely turn into something. He had some limelight, some of it in this season. Derrick Henry, he's still the best running back in the league. It was just a bunch of ups and downs this year from the Titans, having injuries early on in the offseason. To start off, like Harold Landry, it was out for the year, tore his ACL, or Achilles. It was one of those lower body injuries that he caught. And then, then you lost Julio Jones, who wasn't, he wasn't Julio Jones of Atlanta, but, he's still a solid player. He had some games for them. Also, they got rid of A.J. Brown for just a first-round pick, and they didn't want to end up paying him big money because they didn't really think they was going to be able to afford him and then all the other players that were coming up next in line. And obviously that was a really, really, really dumb mistake, especially since A.J. Brown loved playing in Tennessee. So that was really hard for them. I can totally tell, giving away a number one receiver for nothing, essentially. You don't know what Treylon Burks is going to turn out to be, but them trading A.J. Brown to Philly, I felt like Tennessee should have got way more back from that trade. But anyway, it's fine. Now moving on to Jacksonville. So now it's time to praise Jacksonville and what they were doing. This was a team who, under the previous regime of Doug Peterson, they had Urban Meyer. He came from Ohio State. He's mostly known as a college head coach, and everyone loves him in the college football world. But, he's not used to teaching grown men. And, before he'll be able to talk a little bit more crazy to the college kids because the college kids couldn't really combat or say anything back to him. You'll probably have some people who would, but in the NFL, you're not going to talk to a grown man and put hands on him like what they would do. But, obviously, that was a horrible first year. There was a lot of times you would see the Jaguars going unprepared in a lot of games. And as soon as they got rid of Urban Meyer towards the later end of that season, you saw the Jaguars were starting to turn it around. Then, of course, you get a head coach like Doug Peterson, who is a Super Bowl winning head coach. I will give him props for that. He is really great, and he really does have a great offensive scheme, that RPO scheme. That's really great for a guy like Trevor Lawrence, especially when he was running it a lot in Clemson. That really transitioned well for this year and for him as a quarterback. Obviously, tonight, you did see some overthrows in the end zone and things of that nature, things he does need to clean up and work on. So he definitely wasn't the reason they won, but he also wasn't the reason they lost. Jacksonville played amazing defense, and especially keeping Derrick Henry in check and not letting other outside players get off like Robert Woods or Treylon Burks and things of that nature. So they did really well doing that. But Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence eventually got better is what I'm saying. Doug Peterson is the most important reason as to why the Jacksonville Jaguars are here where they are eventually. I knew this was really a good hiring sign. This was a good signing by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not to sound like, LeBron James or anything like that. I always knew this was going to be great. I did not see them going to the playoffs, but I definitely knew they were going to have a better year this year than they had last year, especially with having a head coach like Doug Peterson, him having a young, energetic team. And I believe they're one of the youngest teams in the NFL. So I think Doug Peterson having a whole new clean slate to go into a team like Jacksonville who already has low expectations. Of course, you have the number one overall pick in Trevor Lawrence. Then I just really love the way how they built this team, in my opinion. The offensive line is solid. For me, what I wanted them to do back in the summer, I wanted them to draft Ike Ekwonu, like an offensive tackle, really, to have on that help on that blind side of a Trevor Lawrence. But obviously, Cam Robinson was doing really, really well, But obviously, what they did was they basically got back to that 2017 defense they were trying to get to. Obviously, they're not there. But Saxonville, everything like that. But they're kind of getting there. You have Josh Allen on one end. You have Trayvon Walker, who you selected with the number one overall pick last spring. Then you had you went back into the first round. You got Devin Lloyd, who was a really, really nice linebacker that I liked coming out of Utah. Then you pair him up with Foyside Oluokun, who was a really, really good linebacker. pass coverage linebacker in Atlanta. They have Rayshon Jenkins back there at safety. You have Andre Cisco. You look at that receiving core, and you have Marvin Jones Jr., Zay Jones, Christian Kirk. Evan Ingram had a resurgence of a career. You have Travis Etienne, who is the former teammates with Trevor Lawrence, which was a really great pairing by the organization. It'll be fine in my opinion. I like the way how they built that team again. Like I said, then you traded and got Calvin Ridley, who got suspended for me for a dumb reason. I understand they don't allow gambling in the NFL. It makes sense, but if a player who wasn't playing games, I think it's different when you're gambling and you're playing. That's different than when you're out and you're gambling. I feel like that's two different things. But anyway, which is crazy because they're going to end up going to the playoffs since they won tonight, and since they're going into the playoffs, I believe they can get a first round win. Especially depends who that number 5 seed is. If they have to play the Baltimore Ravens, I think that's going to be a really good matchup for the Jaguars because they already had beaten them before in Jacksonville. They're going to get the Ravens again, and it seems like the Ravens are not going to get Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. And if you got to play a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens in the playoffs, I think if you're Jacksonville, you feel really great about that. And you already beat them before. I feel like you can go out there and beat them again. You go out there, beat them again, and I think, you'll go into the second round, and I don't think you'll be able to beat to beat a Kansas City. You'll put up a great fight against them, but I don't think you'll be able to beat them. Or if there's like another upset, if like a 6 seed or a 7 seed beats the Bills, whoever, or the Bengals, which I don't see happening, more than likely the Jaguars will have to play Kansas City at Kansas City again. And that would be a nice little rematch, and I definitely would see the Chiefs coming out on top. But, I congratulate, honestly, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's nice that they're going into the playoffs. And, yeah, man, that's about it for the video. If like, comment, subscribe, share, and also I want to have your guys' thoughts about the game. Do you guys like me doing more videos about other teams as well? Because I'm having some off-season ideas, especially since I'm not going to be pushing out Madden content in the off-season. I would love to know if you guys make it this far into the video, would you guys want me to do more videos like this? And yeah, that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Happy New Year to everyone. Bye.